Well, the thing that happened so quickly is that I won 3 Cody Awards right away and was elected to the Hall of Fame right after having started my business.
Well, who was around in the 70s?
Well, Bill Blass was around,
Yeah.
Oscar de la Renta was around,
Yes.
Tregear, Jeffrey Bean. But I mean, it wasn't this huge profusion of talent that exists all over the world today. It was not that competitive. The label McFadden is involved with a very artistic approach to fashion. And we developed 3 particular signatures over the years. One is a beautiful hand-painted fabric. The other is, of course, moire pleating. For the most part, it is cut so that I wear it on the vertical. So it flows like a Grecian goddess.
Right.
And that was my original dream, was to create the concept of Grecian goddesses in totally indestructible fibers. And the third signature of the collection is quilting, of which I'm wearing one right now.
Gotcha.
The quilting is also indestructible and requires no maintenance whatsoever. It travels. All these things look very delicate and are extremely artistic and look as if they should be in museums, but in fact, they're indestructible. The most important thing is that you step off of a bus or an airplane looking perfect. And that you pack, and whatever you pack requires no maintenance. Well, when I was 13 years old, I did want to be a fashion designer, but I knew then it would be very difficult. And by the time I was 17, I became public relations director for Christian Dior. And so I realized then how difficult it was to get into that business. My grandfather always said to me, you can't do anything unless you have something to say. So then I went to Africa, and I stayed in Africa for 5 years as a journalist. And I was editor of Vogue South Africa. So my territory was all of East Africa. I mean, I was the first journalist into Madagascar. I interviewed the Emperor Haile Selassie. And I thought I'd stay in Africa forever until the wars of Zimbabwe started. And in '70, the writing was on the wall. And so I came back to America and I got a job immediately as editor of Vogue America. And it was at that time I wore these very beautiful textiles that I had brought back from Madagascar. And because the fabrics were so beautiful, and I wore them to work at Vogue, they asked to photograph me for the cover of Vogue. And so there I was modeling my dresses. And then they said to me, you know, we're running all these pages on you in Vogue and we need a merchandising credit. So I went over to Henry Bendel, who at that time I was interviewing and doing a story on Geraldine Stutz, who was the president of Henry Bendel.
Yes.
And I said, look, you're going to get 6 pages in Vogue, just buy these things. And he said, certainly. And then I said to her, well, you know, I don't know how to braid them. I need a technician. So she sent me over to a person who's working for Bendel Studios called Mitsu. Mitsu saw these beautiful textiles, like this textile as a beauty.
Yes, yes.
He saw these beautiful, beautiful textiles. He said, I'll leave my business and I shall come with you. So he found a little tiny room in a basement.
Yes.
In the middle of August without any air conditioning and 1 mirror over the sink and 1 seamstress. So that we produced what we needed to for our delivery date, September 1 to Henry Bendel.
Yes.
When we delivered the product, Geraldine Stutz said, I shall give you a national press show free, which she did. And from that press show, I sold $1 million worth of merchandise.
So, which you were propelled into the fashion business.
And so then I decided to make a career change from journalism to fashion designing. My mother was horrified because she always thought I was a better writer than I would ever be a designer.
What's your vision of fashion?
Well, what I have been doing over this period of time is that I have been reinterpreting many ancient civilizations. I have studied Mayan civilization.
Yes.
And pre-Columbian, Aztec civilization, and done collections based on their images. I really stopped, for the most part, at the end of the 16th century with the Medici period. I've done several collections based on the Lampa silks. The Lampa silks were the time of Genghis Khan.
Yes.
And they were done in what you would call then, I suppose, the royal workshops in Tashkent and Samarkand. And there they meshed together the three great civilizations, the Byzantine artists with the Central Asian artists and the Chinese artists. You can never run out of cultures to discover. This last collection is based on Assyria.
Yes.
It's a period of about 700 BC. It's on the great sanctuaries of Nimrod and Nineveh.
Yes.
Sargon I. There's fantastic reliefs at the Met, and cuneiform writing is beautiful. It's such a unique period in history that just suddenly disappeared because they were conquered. The Assyrians were conquered, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
And when they get conquered, just like the Mayas, it's gone. I mean, you can write out a language and the glyphs, an entire civilization in 1,000 years. I bought some beautiful Japanese 18th century kimonos that I wear. When I worked in Kashmir, the director, his father was the Maharaja of Katwara, which is outside of Lucknow.
Yes.
He gave me his father's Mughal cloth, which is also in it's transparent cotton, which is chicken woke on it, but it's been starched to such a degree that it keeps a fantastic shape on you.
Yes.
And even that I'm small, I can wear this type of cloth because the cloth is so transparent and fragile.
Did you get tickled when the museum started putting your things up as examples of period fashion, basically?
Well, yeah, I was thrilled to have my clothes in the Met, or to have them at any of these fashion institutes, or have them collected.
Do you still do fittings yourself with important clients?
I do fittings I'm in fittings every day.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Right here it's all haute couture. People understand beautiful things, and I think I know how to touch them.